What's up, music fans? Today I'm going to react to Operation Doomsday by the man himself, MF Doom. Now I'm saving this one for when I hit 100 subscribers. I just want to, thank everybody who's been sticking with me through this journey to educate myself more on the broader world of hip hop. I'm excited to continue this journey, but obviously today the goal is just to listen to this record. With Mad Villainy and food, the just flow between the songs and the overall concepts have really struck me. So I think it's important to listen to these albums the full way through, at least once. And I've looked at a couple top 10, top 20 lists of best MF Doom songs, and a lot of these tracks come up, like Rhymes Like Dimes, Red and Gold, Tick Tick. All these songs are fairly popular, so I'm pretty excited to listen to it. Without any further ado, track 1 will be The Time We Faced Doom, which is a skit.
Now, who will be the first to tell me of a past adventure? Time we faced Doom.
All right. Well, as I remember, Doom had threatened the world leaders with destruction of every...
Operation Doomsday.
Hey man, it's a skit from MF Doom. You know what that means. He's going to talk about his villainous deeds, what it's like for him to take over the world, and that was pretty much what that was. Now, obviously, I've already done a reaction to Doomsday, the track, based on requests, but obviously, for the sake of listening to the whole album, I'm going to play through right now.
Mic check. Come through, take the side. I used to cop a lot, but never cop no drop. Old mics like ponytails tight and bobble ops. That's what my tumor say. Right above my government tumor lake. Either unmarked or engraved, hey, who's to say? I wrote this one in BCDCO section. When I was to you, I knew you were the one for.
That honestly might be in my top 5 favorite MF Doom songs. I've been playing it a lot since I first heard it. I love Pebbles the Invisible Girl's vocals. I love Doom's hook. It's really undercover. You don't actually notice it is a hook at first. But then my favorite part is that just how much younger he sounds. I hope that he sounds that way the entire album. We're going to have to find out, but I just kind of like his different attitude. He sounds younger and more eager to kind of rap. I'm not saying he doesn't later in his career, but I like the cold-blooded confidence from the later Doom and the desperate eagerness from the younger Doom. Track 3 is Rhymes Like Dimes.
Hey yo, y'all can't stand right here. In his right hand was a man's worst nightmare. Not enough to work. I sell rhymes like dimes. The one who mostly keep cash but brag about the broken times. Joker rhymes like the issue just having to see me trick. Classical slapstick rappers need chapstick. A lot of them sound like they in a number like the Alamo. Tally ho a hot joker like Space Game. Came back from 5 years lane and stayed the same set. Electromagnetic field blocks all logic spot and see shocks a biological clock. When I hit it, slid it to the shoulda thought I killed a goose. My power use was pure brittle water filter juice. Keep a pen like a feed castle, brag about the broken times. Better rhymes make for better songs, if that is not. If you got a lot of what it takes just to get along. Surrender now, so it's about the broke times. Joker rhymes like the issue just happy to see me trick. Classical slapstick rappers need chapstick. A lot of them sound like they ain't a talent show, so. Sweet
Well, that was dope. Keeping up with like the same song structure as Doomsday, the hook, it's hard to tell when it comes in and what precisely is the hook until you hear it, the second and third time. I really loved how the title Rhymes Like Dimes fit his kind of flow and his swagger as rapping. It sounded kind of different from what you normally hear from MF Doom in terms of his attitude. He kind of flowed over it with a little bit, again, a little bit of swagger. And then that different performance in the back half of the track. I don't know what to call it, like a choir kind of. That was a great song. If the entire record can keep up the quality of the Doomsday and Rhymes Like Dimes, We're gonna be in for a good one, man. Track 4, The Finest by Doom and Tommy Gunn.
The finest. As the lights, and you learn to appreciate who's the nicest. What's the device? But who is the finest? Time is Schumer, too much drama, blind behind the rumor. Time inside my mind, I'm trying to find a tumor. Time to shoot your leather, we coming through the brutal weather. We ready to do whatever you're doing, you with it? You know what I can pour my brother. Hey, gun, you with it? Whatever. I know about going paid to broke to for science and viewer facts. Which niggas is whack to they last 2 tracks. Matter of fact, y'all can wait for the rep to tell the tall tale how he escaped from out the depths of hell. He gon' die like a soldier die. On this rolling out, drinking no gold, smoking the stove, watching Popo patrol water like drizzle in a paper cup. This one extra stone, a chisel, rip the paper up. I need a cut, a taper up, edge up. Niggas can't measure up. I'm here to get the treasure up. Style stuck up. Used to talk to myself. I told him shut the fuck up, buckle up, cause it's about to be rough. He said keep talking that shit, you about to be snuffed. Then we squashed it. I let him know watch it.
I liked the really percussion-y beat there. It was a pretty big contrast from the kind of production on the first 2 songs. Reminded me a bit more of Food. You know, as much as I love Doom's dense bars and the ones that take a long time to unpack, I also really like it when he's just in your face telling you, shut up, you know, you're gonna be slumped if you don't be quiet. Like, that stuff is cool to hear from him just because he never does it. Track 5, Back in the Days, Skit.
I just came by to say hello. But you better recheck those equations. You're off a few decimals. And that means big trouble if you use this material.
Not too much to unpack there. Track 6 is Go with the Flow.
Yo, I like to check this microphone before I start right quick. 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright, yeah. Big up all the Monster Allen masters, and beware before I triple dare you like the last kid who asked me what we don't got that you got, son. For one flawless elementary, my dear Watson. Secondly, ever since I was
song
little,
progression is amazing.
these rhymes to the syllable. Keep tracks to make it a fool. What you got to lose? Let mud fly. When I got blues, I 2 whole crews that's butt dry. So I ask why. The stars from the set shit be fucking with my eye as I pull it to the S to the U to the P-E-R-A. Who chronicle these times in a 3D horror. Filipino co-starrer in a real drama. Who break bread with stingy kinman, Indian borrower. Rhyme is an L, Rockwell. Industrial, pure mathematics. Folding stacks like mathematics.
Metal phase 2.
That one really felt like a Jay-Z song to me, actually. Now, hear me out, hear me out. First of all, I kind of really liked the way how they brought in the entire beat at first, and then they backed it off. And as Doom comes in to rap, they slowly kind of bring elements of the beat back in, and the song progresses really nicely in that way. You kind of feel like you get everything at the start, so then you're really craving, you know, that entire feeling at the start. And as Doom picks up his flow, the beat also comes in as well. And by the halfway through the track, you're like, oh, this is amazing. Now, part of the reason it sounded like a Jay-Z song to me was just the kind of synthy production that goes in with the percussion-y beat, but also the fact that he's really got these straight-up rap verses, but then the hook kind of backs off for a second, and you kind of just have Doom ad-libbing over it for the hook, and it's not bad because it's a break from his verses, and you see Jay-Z do that a lot, specifically on Reasonable Doubt. He did that on Politics as Usual. I'm trying to think, 22 twos as well. Track 7 is going to be Tick Tick.
Hello. You know when you gonna come in?
Like the Tick Tick at the start.
Walk the path of Jesus, weakness of hell freezes, the mind teases, reality cracked to pieces. It's the gate to hell, so try to flee. Both gates look the same, which will it be? Demons scream from thought process and rest, measure, pleasure through financial progress.
This is
When it comes to currency, love is non-existent. Foes modify, friends become so distant. Some hope the toss camouflage. Loyalty is lies. To see God, look into my eyes. To see the devil, then you look into my eyes. People eat them up, speed them up, slow them up, speed them up, slow it up.
Wow. Okay, first of all, always love me a Star Wars reference. I liked that Obi-Wan Kenobi bar. Second, the who came up with the idea for this track? It's like it slows down and it gets faster. The tick ticks have no cadence to them whatsoever. There's some really awkward violin strings in the background that get progressively shorter and longer as the song progresses. And then finally, the rapping itself lacks rhythm, yet it's tight. I actually really enjoyed that. I mean, this is the type of stuff that like I love about older hip hop records because you don't see creative ideas like this anymore. That kind of style is exquisite, and obviously it's not done very much because the formula doesn't make for a good song all the time. I'd probably have to be in a certain mood to listen to that again, but I liked it purely for the creativity of it. Track 8 is going to be Red and Gold, which I've been told might be my favorite song here, so let's get into it. All right, we gotta run the start of that back because that just hit me like a truck. Okay. In the very back, you have that little simple.
I remember when last November when the Clown King was not remembering. Never touched a gentleman, just a floss of emblem. Debate, waiting fella ate gelatin, or even listening to what his weather meant. It's really like how crazy's on the moon would do. You can dab around like it was an eclipse. Just don't look directly to the bitch. You may be blinded by the scripts. Past the L, the last tells us an absurd tale. All hail, King Ghidra, the third rail. 700 rolls holes filled. Two bottles of dog got his hands filled. And so goes the days of our lives as the hourglass stands still. And Bill with passion and a glass of his head. And the lights went down. And I knew it was the last day. Wig twisters.
I haven't brought this guy out in a couple videos.
Most for which crimes or treason, men. And y'all be lucky if there's no squeezing even this evening.
I don't know where to start with that one. The grandiosity of that song was obviously intended. You think about the way that Doom was rapping, he purposely slowed himself down. He paced his raps at a much slower pace and cadence than he usually would give, specifically to put emphasis on this beat, on this production. I loved the synthy kind of bass lines. The little that comes in on the refrain, I think it was. That beat, oh my gosh. Doom is an incredibly underrated producer, man. Like, and the King Ghidra, I don't know if that's his alter ego for like production specifically, but if it is, then I need more King Ghidra. Track 9, The Hands of Doom, Skit.
I'll have to go ahead with my experiment right now. Lower the dome. It's messed up.
Doesn't look bad.
Great. It looks bad.
Track 10, Who You Think I Am. Features a whole mess of people, but I do notice that King Ghidra is on again.
Who you think I am? Who you want me to be?
He doesn't give me any time to settle into the track. Hold on, let's run it back again.
Who you think I am? Who you want me to be?
I make your girls spot on lip drop your word to the truckers at the pit stop. I'm hip hop, I hold heat.
Yeah.
Never forget what niggas told me, they showed me. Other MCs trying to fold me, they owe me. Trying to figure who done it, your front got your shit stunted. Didn't have to be that way, some sort of light coming in, they shunned it. For the wickedness of those who despise life and worship death. Be a savage, match it eye for eye, two for two, breath for breath. In the last days of the countdown, shit is just that drastic. Right journal.
Rhymes, we got plenty. Times, too many. Sparked up and tapped, you keep counting. I do my thing, jealous niggas keep tapping. Rock and roll, lock and load. MC's alpha, no, like Sinatra at an opera, drop a flocka over it and rock and get you, got to shot the 2 L without the pop before the average knocker hit the liquor,
Oh
quicker,
my
get a
gosh.
quicker, picker, up a girl and sticker. I leave one nut stand a snicker, kicker to
I think that one's enjoyability for me is going to be a bit lower, like on a deep level, than songs like, Doomsday and Red and Gold, purely because I think it was made to just be more of a posse cut. But I don't have a problem with that. I incredibly enjoyed that song. The features, I don't know a lot of these artists, but they're killing it. And Doom, one thing that really I liked about Doom and his performance was that he started off like, back here at a normal distance from his microphone, right? But then as he got more intense halfway into his verse, he really wants you to know like how much he cares about what he's saying, so he gets real close to the mic like this. There's little touches like that that he puts in his music all the time that I really appreciate. I also thought the beat was stripped down specifically, again, to put emphasis on the fact that this is a posse cut, and they executed it incredibly well. Track 11, Doom, Are You Awake? Another skit.
Doom, are you awake? Yes, but what do you want?
How horrible! That's me!
These skits just sound super nostalgic to me, purely for the fact that like they remind me of when I used to watch these cartoons all the time, and that's clearly partly what Doom is going for. I really like how, as much as this guy is the illest villain, he's kind of nerdy in the fact that he goes and searches for all these things to put in his album. Don't take that in a negative way, I mean that in the most positive way possible.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Like
I'd like to thank you all for joining us this evening. Y'all with me,
oh my
y'all.
gosh,
I only play the games that I win at and stay the same with more rhymes as ways to skin cats. As a matter of fact, let me rephrase. With more rhymes and ways to fillet felines in these days. And holds mics like he knows karate body blows. Nobody knows the trouble I see from the MPV fly dirty, tailing the bubble I-30. Well spoke, now all a nigga wanna do is fight and sell. Tell joke. This could lead to catastrophe. About to stop the violence right after these last 3 shots from the black bat got me a
it's so
headlock.
sick.
Hold
Like,
on to sanity by strands of that dreadlock.
his ideas are just everything is so creative, man. It opens up with this eerie feeling that like kind of I don't even know what that was, but it just digs into the back of your ear. It kind of sounds like, the theme to an alien UFO descending or something. And then he brings in that sinister "dur, dur, dur," and then the super, again, another stripped down beat, but this time it's to put emphasis on the production. I'm coming to the realization that Doom was a bit lyrically underdeveloped at this point in his career, but I'm not taking that away from him. He still has some great bars, but a lot of them are more in your face than they are later on in his career. I like the one about you are getting into a trap, now I'm rapping, or Doom rap, something like that. Man, just the amount of new and fresh ideas on this record are awesome. Track 13 is Operation Greenbacks. Ooh.
It's good to see you back. It's good to be seen. Greenbacks, green stacks. A fly tramp, that's what she called me. Cause I don't wear no Stetson hats like Paul C. As y'all see, books go to solo MCs, they paper thin. And they polo Nautica or DK men. Amen. It's funny how significance make a difference. Notice parables of 3 in every other inference. For instance, I like to give an extra special shout out to Jet Jaguar, the Sun, Moon, and Star. They want to smush us ass back in the bushes. I'm back and get the bus and get bent before if they get this and try to push us. Cause when they make me big, I don't be taking no shit. Bet who can give one fuck? Get up, get broke up like 3-piece nunchuck. Y'all sunstruck. Sick to
Interesting. It really reminded me of Doomsday, actually. Kind of the way he opened and closed with that vocal sample, and then the beat was just super different from kind of the opening and closing. Again, there's not too much to say here just because Doom doesn't vary up his performance as much on this track, and again, I'm not saying that in a bad way at all. I never get tired of the MF Doom shtick. It's simply just more of his greatness to enjoy. Let's get into track 14, which is The Mic, and Pebbles is making another appearance.
Feel the magnetism
between us. Growing stronger. I was in a case, out of state. She was 13 and good, we had a holiday. It was just a number, she never told me she was knocked up. By the end of the summer, chick almost had me locked up. My aunt came and got me instead, feeling a little loose. Blowing up at every spot, we had a little juice. Probably the Dom or the Afghani buttered me. Played the stage, standing by the speaker, and suddenly, what a sweet surprise, her with the fly eyes and fine. She pulled me to the sidelines. The mystery silent with strong words. She was an intelligent wisdom and a songbird. My godfather, solid gold telephone. Many of my men were up in smoke while tricking with these chickens and ended up broke. You find out who's your man's when you broke like a bad joke. It's funny when you on, you got mad folk. I played the middleman in every little scam. The mic.
This album has not had a single skip yet. I loved the really roughly mixed beat and then the really synthy production sample in the background. The part in the middle where they back off the production and it's just the really rough beat going pff, 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 and Doom is giving this like really slowed down kind of rap spoken word interlude. It lulls you into this sense of okay, he's almost done, and then he goes right back in with the beat and there's like oh. Track 15, Mystery of Doom, Skit.
What of Doom, my dear lady? As I stood outside your door, I heard quite a bit of your story. If you wish, I'll add mine to clear up the mystery of Doom's transition.
Track 16, Dead Bent.
He's singing. When you come around, you bring pride today. Like 4 seconds, 2 he told her, I will rock this microphone. Prisoner, when you broke north, I crashed the barbecue like critic at the garden show. That's the garden me, garden you. Secrets, I was told back. I got this upper style, I ain't flipping around. It goes, your scientific intelligence, with 1 point of relevance. MCs who styles need elements. And once the smoke clear elements, the super motherfucking villain nigga came through raw like the elements. On 99 plus 1 of them.
I will say that was probably the most skippable song on the record so far, but that in no means it's bad. It was another just creative and exquisite idea. I love the really elongated strings in the background. I do think his rapping was a bit less enjoyable than the rest of the record, but again, I'm fine with that. It's not going to take away how great this record has been so far. Track 17 is Gas Draws.
By the way, I re-up on bad dreams, back up screams in 50s, re-up on mad schemes that heat shot like Jiffy. Pop, and it ripped off like Nicorette. In real life, the real tripe scene might snatch your life like an assault machine. Rifle, let up, shut up like bullfight. I bring it to y'all motherfuckers, master yours, my disaster cause. Hell and gas drawers.
Hey.
The super villain cooler than a million. I'll be chillin', still quick to slice squares like Sicilians. Don't make me hit the crew up like nobody knows how extra unseen feels when giving crews a brush with death like between meals. 2 times a day with brothers that's tight. And King Geedra. I call this joint right here Gas Drawers. In hell with yours.
Probably my favorite part about that song was the drum line that went in tandem with the really awkward kind of synths in the background that kind of just didn't have a true rhythm to them, but again, with the really straightforward drum line, it sounded good. I also liked how Doom kind of varied up the fact that usually he takes a rest on the 8th note. He did a lot more resting on a 16th note on that song, which makes for a lot more of a long-running bar or lyric. Track 18 is going to be question mark with Curious.
My servants began to forge what was to become the last thing to fit was the mask.
Another
It
static in the
conformed to my
background that just,
twisted features and
He cleans his metal mask with gasoline. They after him last seen pulling a chick like a fiend, pull a fast one. See, true, that's no mystery. Like Hardy Boys do with Nancy Drew. Soda with her drawers down quarter. The ex-daughter brings slaughter like, well, I order. I suggest you hand over the formula dealer. A villain in your land, in his land, a ruler. Hard hitting like my fruit, they not sweet. No matter how you spell it, they still got beats to check off.
Question how we live, question what we give, take it to the next, leave them where they can't see me. Still they judge, but they be butt ass. What's that wig? Like a Muppet. Keep it simple, can't trust it. Do it for Cotto Rock, do it for K-Nick.
R.I.P.
K-N-I-T, sub-R-O-C.
Eternally for MIC. Truly the illest dynamic duo on the whole block. I keep a flicker you with the machete sword in your hand. Everything is going according to plan, man.
now I seek the revenge of the world.
I definitely think Question Mark is a good title for the track, just because usually I have a lot to say, but I have a question mark on how to describe what made me love that so much.
Can't put shit past him. Got niggas on his own team mad enough to blast him. Retarded in real life.
I think for once I'll just shut up and appreciate. Track 19 is Hero vs. Villain.
And how did you manage to stop him? Simple. I rearranged the circuit. Once he threw the switch, my ability to attack is faster than the Cobra.
What's the hero? Who's the villain? Dead or living?
Doom.
Kill or killing? Who the fuck's remain chillin'?
Doom.
Webster says, wicked and evil. Really of God? But who should? Determine the real. Evil. What's the deal? Fools rush in. They don't know the yin from the yang, nor are ashamed to deviate or act sane from the norm.
Well, that was Operation Doomsday. I don't think I liked that record more than Food or Mad Villainy, which, if I did, it would have to be amazing. But I caught a lot of tracks that, man, I'm really just gonna listen to a lot in the future. I think what impressed me the most is just how developed Doom was in terms of his rapping ability this early in his career. I mean, lyrically, he does sound a bit less confident and talented than he does on records like Mad Villainy, but there's nothing wrong with that because the production sounds a bit less abstract, but really accessible and incredibly fun to listen to. And he really does sound younger here. It's kind of fun in a way to hear a younger version of Doom try to prove himself. He really is thug on some of his delivery. He's going hard to really just try and show you how much of the supervillain he is. And I think he does that successfully. He pairs himself with a lot of great features. I'm sad that I don't know who these artists are because I want to give them credit and they do a great job. My favorite songs on this album are definitely going to be Doomsday, Rhymes Like Dimes, Red and Gold. I'm going to say Go With The Flow. We'll say Question Mark because that song put me in another world. That's going to do it for my beautiful long-winded analysis on Operation Doomsday by MF Doom. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you liked the video, as well as click that red button and subscribe to come on this journey with me where I really find access to these older hip-hop artists to educate myself on the broader world of hip-hop. Let me know what I should react to in order to accomplish that mission. What's your favorite song from this record, and what's your favorite song by MF Doom? I'd love if we could have a discussion about it in the comments. I try to reply to most of you. I think that'll do it. Thank you for joining me. I sincerely hope that you will join me next time. Happy listening. MF Doom forever.